If I was you, I'd be asking for a refund. Everything they do for DOC, they need to defund. Lazy guards, double cells, everything in here is hell. You ever been to the county jail praying that you get some mail? Then you hit receive and all the stories, can't believe them. I thank God that I'm alive, I thank God that I'm still breathing. After COVID, wearing masks, everyone's sad. How did a virus know a budget? It really makes me laugh. We had good times, bad times, but still it made us strong. It was hard to be accountable, I had to right my wrongs. But now I'm long and forgotten, they forgot about me.
Welcome to the Defund DOC podcast. I'm Linda, and with me is my co-host Daniel J. Simms.
Hello, community. Hello, friends. Hello, family. Welcome. Today we got some stuff to discuss in regards to what's going on in this world of prison. So on January 23rd, 2023, I filed a civil rights lawsuit against 4 Department of Corrections correction officers for a myriad of offenses. It's in Daniel Jeremiah versus Hathaway. Forefront of the claims was a blatant retaliation against me for exercising protected activities. In particular, exercising freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, and access to the courts. I experienced alarming prejudice from these parties. For instance, Custody Unit Supervisor Christopher Fitzpatrick would ambush me with a group of his subordinates and threaten me. This happened on multiple separate occasions, even calling me names like nuisance, annoyance, troublemaker, and other derogatory stereotypes for activists. The inappropriate meetings with those having complete power and control over me were very intimidating and chilling. Yet, I was still reluctant to blow the whistle on the abusive conduct at that time, mainly due to my well-founded fear of being put in torture, solitary confinement, or issued diesel treatment transfer. Ultimately, such reluctance proved ineffective. One cloudy morning, while asleep in my cell at AHCC, my cellmate Stephen Null and another inmate named Kevin got into a heated argument in the day room. The loud opening of the door and jostling around the cell to get Stephen's shoes on woke me. Without preamble, he stated he was about to fight. Those of you that follow my podcast, my books, and articles know I have a heart of public service and altruism towards the incarcerated community. Such spirit compelled me to promptly put my shoes on and rush out to attempt peacemaking in hopes of preventing the fight from occurring. The attempt was futile. They began mutually fighting in the shower area before I could reach them. I stood at the shower entrance verbally to break the fight up as a good faith community member should do. The prison administration took that innocent moment of good faith peacekeeping and charged me with aiding and abetting assault, while both fighters were charged with simple mutual fight infractions. I spent months in solitary confinement, while the 2 fighters went back out to mainline within a small amount of time. I was given diesel therapy to Colin Bay Correction Center, even though I had the points to stay at AHCC. Once I was at Colin Bay, I appealed the wrongful infraction, and they reversed it down to aiding and abetting a fight. Since I didn't even do that, I filed a personal restraint petition in the Court of Appeals. The civil rights lawsuit was filed in U.S. District Court around this time. Due to case law precedents, I found that the lawsuit could be dismissed under the HEC rule, which rules a lawsuit based on a conviction or an infraction that has not been overturned, reversed, or expunged cannot proceed to litigation unless it gets reversed. So I voluntarily dismissed the civil rights lawsuit without prejudice to comply with the HEC rule. Recently, the Court of Appeals expunged the wrongful infraction, proving me right. Therefore, last week, I filed a motion for relief from judgment and for appointment of counsel in the civil rights lawsuit. This would reopen the civil rights lawsuit since the underlying infraction was reversed. Within days of filing it, vicious retaliation started. That week, I was infracted for sleeping. Yep. They said I was interfering or failing to comply with count. Then I had a voluntary call out for Toastmasters, so I missed it to attend my video visit with Linda. Nowhere in the state do they write you up for missing voluntary call-outs or going to a visit, yet they infracted me for that. Keep in mind, infractions are DOC's psychological whip to keep us prisoner slaves in line. Sergeant Eastep, the one that had me handcuffed for the false aiding and abetting infraction, was the hearings officer. So he should not have been allowed to hear the infraction because he was already clearly biased and prejudiced against me since he was a part of the previous false aiding and abetting infraction. So he demonstrated his prejudice when he gave me 5 days cell confinement. And then the next 2 prisoners with the exact same infraction that came after me, they both got a suspended sentence. After hearing their suspended sentences, I went into Sergeant Eastep's office to confront his blatant abuse of power. His answer for the inequality was that he was the hearings officer and he can do what he likes, that he doesn't like what I'm about, and to leave his office. As I was responding to that statement and leaving his office, he proceeded to call a code on me, stating I was refusing to disperse, even though the video camera footage will prove that I was trying to leave his office. He then had me put into torture solitary confinement, and now I'm in the unit with C.U.S. Fitzpatrick again, the one that gave me the false assault charge in the first place. Now I am by myself in a 4-man cell with none of my property and none of my legal material. I am around a whole new community of prisoners, which could lead to all kinds of troubles, fights, assaults, and murders. I've got all my points to be in minimum custody, so they violated my classification due process rights by putting me in medium custody, even though I haven't been found guilty of any infraction, and I have the points to be in minimum custody. I got served the infraction yesterday, and Sergeant Eastep lied, stating he told me multiple times to disperse. That is a complete lie. The video footage will prove that I was only in his office perhaps 30 seconds. His version of facts could not have happened. Then when they served the infraction, they did not properly read me my rights, violating my due process guarantees. This is what has been happening in the last week as soon as I filed this lawsuit or proceeded to try to get it reopened. This is the type of abuse that our people in this country have to deal with in regards to obtaining justice in this country. And the prison reform activist in me says, who cares, and just do what you want to do. And honestly, me and Linda have already talked about this, and I don't even want to be at this prison. And yet Linda says that she doesn't agree with that. She said, you're exercising protected activities and you shouldn't be retaliated against. What do you think, Linda?
Personally, I think that, of course, you shouldn't be run out of where you're at. You shouldn't even be in medium custody right now. You should have been returned to where you were at. It's clear retaliation is what it is.
Yeah, 100%. And, you know, I'm trying my best to stay out of trouble, but the fact is that they use these infractions as a whip, you know, and they constantly whip us whenever we get out of line, whenever we have any kind of disagreement with them, the crime of disrespect, you know what I mean? Like, just even holding myself up to be a man, you know what I mean? It just rubs them the wrong way. How dare I, you know, argue with them in regards to a point of law or an infraction or whatnot. You know who else argues? Lawyers. You know, and I'm a jailhouse lawyer, so therefore I am going to argue a point, and what they do is they take that argument and try to say that, you know, you're refusing to disperse, or the other one they use is you're trying to intimidate. So he actually has a pattern of doing this. There's another gentleman, he's going to say his name, and then he's just going to give a brief outline of what Sergeant Eastep did to him as well. So basically did the exact same thing in regards to calling the code when there was no emergency and escalated the matter unfairly and unlawfully, so I'll let him take the floor.
Yeah, my name is Logan Peterson. I'm at Airway Heights Correctional Facility doing my time just trying to be rehabilitated. So Sergeant Eastep, they did a quote-unquote random cell search, even though they went in looking for specific items, but once they found them, they continued to tear my house up. I go back to my cell, and there's pills from all my pill bottles all over the place, papers on my bed, everything's just jumbled up and messed up. So I ended up going to the sergeant to ask him, like, what was going on, like, why was my room left in such a disarray, and I'm trying to ask him, and other than trying to speak to me or de-escalate the situation because I was upset, you know, he just tells me to cell in, and I go back to my cell, and I celled in, and I came out about a minute later, and instead of trying to calm me down and de-escalate it like somebody in an authoritative position should do, he called a code on me and ended up getting me sent to the hole for no particular reason.
Yeah, so that's one example. There's multiple examples of the abuse of this guy, this sergeant, and, you know, we're at their mercy. To them, we are nothing but slaves on their plantation. People don't realize that we actually have people that care care about us, that love us, that want well for us. And so I like to put everything out there, shed light on the darkness of prison. Let's see what's really happening around here. People abusing power and constantly using their power to oppress us and suppress our speech. So that's what is going on right now. My family out there listening, everybody out there greatly needs some help in regards to emails, letter writing. They currently have me in medium custody where, I belong in minimum. Also, this infraction is now pending, so I need help to advocate for the reversal of this infraction. All three of them, to be honest with you. I shouldn't be infracted for none of these. I have no malicious intent. I had no intent whatsoever to, subvert the rules or anything. I'm literally sleeping. I just did not go to a voluntary call out. And three, I was literally moving out of the office and this guy pushed the button on me. And so he's got a pattern of doing this, and so therefore would like, some help in regards to that. And Linda is one person to greatly use help out there, everybody.
It's easy for them not to listen to one person's voice, but they can't ignore multiple people's voices, and that's why I reached out for everybody to help and start sending emails on Daniel's behalf.
Yeah, and we very much appreciate that. We appreciate the people that stand up with us. We are all one people, and for them to separate us and make us have to endure such harassment, it's really a cruelty. It's a very corrupt system. It's evil, and we need to stick together. I'm so blessed to have you guys, every one of you guys that are listening, just please be a part of this journey. Someday I'll be able to hopefully shake your hand and thank you so much for all the help you've done, because most of you guys know that I grew up in foster care. I don't have no family. I have no real support network other than Linda, and she's just one person, and so how much does it mean to you, Linda, when people help the cause?
It's amazing to see, because I've got a post on Facebook asking people if they'd be willing to send emails, and we've had a ton of people stand up saying that they stand with Daniel and they're with us in this, and they'll send the emails. So it means a lot to have what literally feels like a family backing each other up. And honestly, if anybody needs the same thing in return, if anybody needs emails sent on their behalf, let us know, because we will send the emails. We'll give the news to our followers. If you're not on Facebook, if you're just listening to the podcast, you can email me for info at linda@defunddoc.net, and I'll get you a list of the email addresses to send the emails to on Daniel's behalf.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. She's going to collate a good list of administrators and offices of ombuds and perhaps the governor's office. Even a couple legislators that are perhaps in favor of prisoner rights should be contacted. I mean, I honestly don't want to leave this prison just because of the way that a few officers are treating us, but it comes in waves. So all this stuff just went away today, right? Then it comes back in waves. So maybe, a year from now I have to deal with it again. You have 1 minute left. But that's fine. I'll deal with it then. But mainly let's just focus on what's going on right now. And I thank all you guys for being a part of this journey. Please get the album, Diesel Therapy. We really need to sell some more albums. Love you guys. And thanks for being a part of this community. You are our family.
Start the long and forgotten, threw away the key, gone and forgotten, they forgot about me. Long and forgotten, threw away the key, gone and forgotten, defund the OC. If I was you, I'd be asking for a refund. Everything they do for DOC, they need to defund. Lazy guards, double cells, everything in here is hell. You ever been to the county jail praying that you get some mail? Then you hit receive and all the stories, can't believe them. I thank God that I'm alive, I thank God that I'm still breathing. After COVID, wearing masks, everyone's sad. How did a virus know a budget? It really makes me laugh. We had good times, bad times, but still it made us strong. It was hard to be accountable, I had to right my wrongs. But now I'm long and forgotten, they forgot about me.